Hi, and welcome to another edition of Kiss List Confessions, where authors of kissing books talk about kissing. I'm Melanie Johnson, and today I have with me Amy Pine, also known as AJ Pine. Hello.
Hello, my super secret name. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Is that still a secret?
No, I'm totally kidding. No, my
Because
my
your
my
book is
next
coming
book.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us really quickly a little bit about that, actually.
About the name or the book?
Well, I guess kind of both because you write a lot of adorable, hot cowboy romance under AJ Pine, but you've got something coming out soon under Amy Pine.
Yeah, and the name thing is not a really interesting story. It just was a matter of when I was first getting started in writing, I needed to buy a domain name, and amypine.com was taken. So I couldn't use my full name. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to go with the initials. And at the time, I was a high school English teacher. And I thought, you know what? It's also kind of good because my students won't be able to find me super easily. They're not going to know what my initials are. And so I did, I bought ajpine.com. And, fast forward, I think now we're 7 years into it since I was first published. I have my first women's fiction coming out in August. And I don't know, I just wanted to separate a little bit from the romance, just so you knew that the Amy Pine was the women's fiction and that the AJ Pine was the romance. So in case you weren't sure what you were getting out of that book, you would know by, just knocked over my mic, you would know by whose name was on the cover.
Yeah, I think that's actually very clever, and it's close enough where it's still you, easily to find either way, but the reader will know AJ is sexy cowboy romance, Amy is this woman's fiction, maybe more of a journey and a story, of a different kind of story. So that's
Yes.
good. That works well. I think it's funny about the domain name because my husband, being the tech guy that he is, when our children were born, the first thing he did was register their domain names.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. That is some forward-thinking stuff going on there. I like
yes,
that.
well, and we're talking about, in the early zeros, so before it became kind of a mainstream thing, the first thing he did was, and obviously the thing that's funny is both my children have very uniquely spelled names, so it really wouldn't have been an issue anyway. I don't think it's possible. But both girls have their domain names if they ever should want to use them.
That's pretty fantastic. I approve. I like it.
So we are going to jump in here with the kissing. And I love this first question. I consider it my icebreaker question. And it is your very first kiss. And you have to tell us about it in 3 words.
So here we go. And we were talking a little bit before we started rolling about how these are going to be used later. And now I'm second guessing myself, but here we go. 3 words to describe my first kiss: dark, wet, and awkward.
Dark, wet, and awkward. Well, of course, this immediately makes me want to ask, where did this kiss take place?
Exactly. So, I was a little boy crazy growing up, like even in elementary school. So I'm not counting like when I was in 4th grade and thought I had a boyfriend and gave him like a peck on the cheek or anything like that. So we're going into 6th grade, my first boy-girl party for one of my friends' birthdays. And it was a boy-girl party, when we're now 12 years old. And we did a little spin the bottle / like 3 minutes in the closet or whatever. And it was basically you spun the bottle and whoever it landed on, you had to go into the closet, which was her laundry room, with the lights off and kiss. And so there you have it, folks. My super romantic first kiss.
So if it's a laundry room, it's a little bit more spacious than your average
absolutely.
closet.
Yes, absolutely.
And so you were stuck in there with the person, lights off, and so it was really more of a secret between the two of you, whether
absolutely. So it was on the honor system, but of course, I don't know how much honor he would have had or I would have had. I'm not blaming anybody that they would have started rumors had it not happened, but it was somebody that I had a crush on, and so the kiss happened, and it was weird, but there you go.
Who initiated?
Oh, you know what? I don't even remember. I really don't. Seriously, it was so long ago. I don't want to, give away age here, but we're talking 30 plus years ago. So my
I just
memory is a
know like
little
how many
foggy.
details are burned into your brain. The
Yeah, I
laundry room
know.
aspect apparently
Yes,
is
for
not
sure.
for
Like I remember whose house it was. I remember where in the house it was. And to protect, the innocent so that, her mom doesn't yell at her now 30 plus years later. I won't say her name, but she knows who she is.
Oh, okay. So the three it was dark, wet, and awkward.
Super duper.
And so is 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 the wet part because of the laundry room or because
No, like a wet French kiss. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're not
it is sixth
mincing words
grade.
here. Yeah.
It is sixth grade. Yeah. Oh dear.
There you
The
go. Gosh,
finessing.
I really hope my daughter finds this and listens to it.
I know. I think about that sometimes. Like my oldest is well past the age my husband and I started dating. So I'm like, oh my.
Oh yeah, my daughter's 15, almost 16. So she's
Yeah. Oh
definitely,
well,
yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, yes. At that point, sixth grade kisses are yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next question is, speaking of being boy crazy, like you said you were at the time, three celebrities that you would like to kiss, or if there's some story behind kissing a real celebrity, like.
Oh gosh, I wish I had a story like that.
And I always like to put out this disclaimer, no, obviously relationship status doesn't come into play here. This is pretend. This is in a little bubble of imagination. Nobody's breaking up any marriages or anything.
Oh, that's okay. I'm divorced. I can kiss whoever I
Well, I'm
want.
talking
So we're
about
all
the
good.
celebrity you might be kissing.
Oh yeah, no, we're protecting the celebrity. Come on. All right. So relationship statuses aside. So three celebs I'd like to kiss. Can I cheat? Can I do 3 American and 3 K-drama idols? Because
Yes, you may do that. And so if you don't know, Amy has a podcast about K-dramas, which I have to tune into because I binged Crash Landing on You like nobody's business.
That is the gateway drama. That was my first one. And it's been like, is it a downhill, uphill ride? I don't even know, but it's been fantastic.
Because of your obsession, I will allow for 3 and 3. That's okay.
Okay. Well, because it's not as much cheating as I'm leading on, because my American 3 would be Chris Evans, and Chris Evans. So, and I do have to say,
Chris Evans with the beard, Chris Evans no beard.
Chris Evans when he is sort of the estranged Captain America after Civil War. So we've got the longer hair and the beard, and still needs to earn his shield back. So yeah, that is my sexuality right there. But getting into K-dramas because I am a huge K-drama fan. I'm gonna say, and this is so hard. Gong Yoo, Lee Joon-gi, and Lee Min-ho. There are some others that I would love to add to that, but I'll say those are my top 3 right now. So Gong Yoo, Lee Joon-gi, and Lee Min-ho. So yes.
So those are the ones that give you all the feels.
Yes, and I should backtrack and say, while I have not actually kissed Chris Evans in real life, I have touched him.
Okay, I was wondering where this was going.
My kids and I, because we're huge Marvel fans, we went to a comic book convention, Ace Comic-Con in Chicago. I want to say maybe in 2018, 2017. I'm not sure which year it was. And we paid to do a photo op with Chris Evans and Tom Hiddleston together. And my kids even contributed some of their saved up like holiday money. And when we got there, we got in line. I said, okay, look, thank you for your contribution, kiddos, but mom paid doubled. So I stand in the middle. And you guys get to pick who's going to be by Chris and who's going to be by Tom. And it worked out fine. It was great. So yeah.
So you get to touch both.
I did.
Oh yeah, I've never been to one of those, but they seem like a lot of fun.
They are.
And hopefully they'll start to happen some more now that we're starting to open up again.
Hopefully.
All right, so we're gonna move from real people to fictional people, and and this one's fun because it's not necessarily someone that you've like seen kiss or that kind of thing, but something about their descriptions, their qualities make you think, okay, they would make a great kisser. This is three fictional characters
Mhm.
that you think would make great kissers.
Yeah, and I got a little creative here. I chose one that's more of like a movie fictional character, one book one, and one TV one. So I went kind of all over the box here. So my first one, speaking of Marvel, is Loki, because like bad boys are sexy, right? And Loki is the baddest of the bad, but also with, a little bit of good in him. And yeah, I'm pretty positive that he would be a fantastic kisser. And once again, I touched him. So that
Okay.
that alone, yeah. And then for book wise, so I up until this year I was a librarian in a high school for 6 years, and so YA has always been a big part of my reading life. And so this is going into some YA fantasy from Sarah J. Maas's Court series, and I'm going to say Rhysandr, who was again a sexy bad boy who well, I don't want to give anything away, but he's a sexy bad boy who is sort of a villain in the first book of the series, and then in the second book turns into something pretty damn sexy. And then, you know what? I'm going to throw in a good guy when I go to my TV one here, and I'm going to say Jim Halpert from The Office, because Jim Halpert,
I
like,
was gonna say we have a running theme, but then you broke it.
I did. We went right to like the real world, real guy, and I stand by that. John Krasinski.
Well, so you've got, a little bit of naughtiness on the side, and then.
Right, exactly.
All right. So, I love that you did like one each, book, movie, TV. So we're going to go into that now. And three favorite kisses from the page or the screen. Three favorite kissing scenes from books, movies, TV.
Okay. Three favorite kissing scene from books, movies, TV. So first one is movie, and hands down the best one, I think, is the kissing lesson in Some Kind of Wonderful. Where
Okay, I'm freaking out because that is my favorite. That is my favorite kiss of all time. It is, yes, 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 yes. You go ahead and explain it.
So Some Kind of Wonderful is John Hughes's answer to Pretty in Pink, because Pretty in Pink should have ended with Andy and Ducky, and it didn't. And so he went to Some Kind of Wonderful, and we have the Misfits getting together at the end, which is how it should be. So anyway, we've got Keith and Watts, who are best friends, but we know that Watts secretly has a crush on Keith, and he is going out on a date with Amanda Jones, the most popular girl in school, and she asks him if he knows how to deliver a kiss that kills. And I mean, the exact line is, I think that maybe you should consider whether or not you can deliver a kiss that kills. And then she hops on this barrel in the garage where he's working, because he's a mechanic, and says to pretend she's a girl, because she is what would have been considered, I don't like using gender terms like this, but back then she would have been considered a bit of a tomboy. And she wasn't your typical pretty high school girl, right? But she was gorgeous, Mary Stuart Masterson. And she hops up on this barrel and she's like, pretend I'm a girl. And she's like, I know it's a stretch, but try it. And
I should pretend I'm Amanda.
yes, pretend I'm Amanda. And starts to kiss him. And the kiss gets real. It gets really real. Her legs wrap around and squeeze his butt, and it's amazing. And then she pushes away and is like, all right, you're good. You're good. Like, it's all right.
It
And
is
he's
the hottest kiss because, and it's such a great moment because it takes them both by surprise,
yes,
and
absolutely.
it is, yes, I love that kiss so much.
And that's because that's when you know that, okay, Keith has to realize it sooner or later that this is the girl for him, not the girl that is good on paper, but the girl who is truly good for him.
That's the piece that's like when that glove is thrown down, like if that is not addressed at some point in the rest of this story, there would have been like rage.
Yes, it is hands down my favorite John Hughes movie, one of my favorite romance movies of all time, and especially that kiss. It's the best screen kiss I think ever.
Yes, I'm the book that I'm writing right now. I do have a like practice kiss in there because as an homage to to that scene. Just, it's not the same, but it's definitely one of those, we're going to kiss just to show we don't have any feelings for each other. And then, oh, wait a minute.
I love that because, and that actually happened in a K drama that I really like called Her Private Life. And it wasn't a practice kiss, but it was a dream kiss. Like she imagined it. And you don't know as the viewer that she's imagining it until after it's over. And you're like, oh my God, that was amazing. But oh my God, it wasn't even real. But I think what's awesome about that and like what you're doing is then they still get to have like their real first kiss when they fall in love
Yes,
after that,
yes,
So it's
yeah.
like they get to have two first kisses, which I think is a lot of fun.
I like that. I never thought about it that way, but you're right. It is a way to kind of sneak in a twofer for something that necessarily doesn't usually get to happen more than once.
Yep,
All right.
absolutely.
So sorry to completely
That's
like,
okay.
because it was that is I love that kiss. So Some Kind of Wonderful, The Kiss That Kills. What's next?
Okay. So the second one from a book is the almost kiss between Sky and Holder in Colleen Hoover's Hopeless. And this kiss is basically the hero is walking the heroine through what their first kiss will be like, but telling her that he's not going to kiss her yet because it's not the right time yet. Like he doesn't, she hasn't fallen for him yet, kind of thing. But it's super sexy because he basically gets really close to her, lips almost touching, but they're not touching, where he's just describing what the first kiss will be, but doesn't
And then
actually kiss her
she's
yet.
like, can we just have it now, please?
Yes, it's super sexy. And I read that book probably like 6 or 7 years ago, I think. And that has always stood out to me. It's just a super sexy scene where their lips didn't actually touch yet.
That's amazing that it stuck with you. This is Hopeless by Colleen Hoover.
Yeah. And that's
Okay.
like one of her earliest books. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. And then how about number 3?
Okay, so number 3 is a TV kiss, and I'm going with Emma and Hook in Once Upon a Time.
Oh.
And so I was a big Once Upon a Time fan, and this is way, way back, I think, in season 2. So if you don't know Once Upon a Time, Emma is the daughter of Snow White and Prince Charming, but she doesn't quite believe in all this fairy tale stuff when the show starts, and then she gets immersed in this sort of fairy tale world. And so there is a scene where Hook saves Charming's life, who is Emma's father, and she thanks him, and he taps his lips and taunts her into giving him like a little more gratitude. He's like, come on. And she basically tells him, she's like, you couldn't handle it. And he's like, no, I think you're the one who couldn't handle it because you're the one who's kind of stalling and not doing it. And she's like, fine, this will be a one-time thing, one time only. And she kisses the hell out of him and walks away. But then you see their reactions afterwards, and she's totally shaken by it, and he's totally shaken by it. And you just know that they're going to have like this epic romance, which they do on and off for like the rest of the seasons. And so I love that.
Yeah,
And
that's a very Han Solo Princess Leia vibe. Oh yeah.
yes. Oh, big time. Yeah, I love it. The sort of enemies to lovers, and yeah.
Right, neither one of them wanting to kind of give way, but both of them, yes, yes.
Totally.
And letting the audience be the ones to get to see both their reactions and know while they're hiding it from each other.
Exactly.
So, super fun. I love it. Okay, so we're going to move on to actual places that kisses can happen. And these could be ideal locations to have a kiss. These could be from real life experience or imagination, bucket list, who knows. So what's up? Where are we going to have a kiss?
We're going to go bucket list here because I don't think that I've had any. I mean, I've had some good kisses, but none of them have been in particularly picturesque locations.
Okay.
So bucket list, kiss list. So I feel like this is so stereotypical, but I'm going with it anyway because I've never been to Paris. So Paris at nighttime with the Eiffel Tower lit up in the background. I've never been. I want to do it. Okay. I want to kiss in Paris.
It's on my bucket list too. Definitely.
Okay. So there we go. And then going to my K-drama love, I want to kiss somebody on the observation deck of Namsan Tower in Seoul, South Korea, after putting a love padlock on the N Tower Plaza fence. I think they used to have a bridge like this in Paris too, but they had.
I was going to say that was a thing in Paris, and they had to get rid of it
because it got too heavy because it was weighing the bridge down. That's a little dangerous. So yeah, they have something similar to that in Seoul at Namsan Tower, and so I would love to do that at nighttime with the towers all colorful and lit up stuff too. So I think I have a thing for tall buildings that are lit up.
Tall buildings and beautiful skylines.
Exactly. And then and number 3, I'm gonna go with, because like I did mention, I'm single right now. So number 3, I'm gonna go with wherever I am the next time that I realize I'm in love.
Oh,
So
that
there we
is
go.
so sweet.
Cheesy, but
Oh,
I'm a romance writer, and I
yeah,
gotta throw
no, and that
gotta throw
is,
a little
and
cheesy
that's
romance in
like
there.
that's a exactly, and a great kiss can happen anywhere. And those that kind of like, oh my god moment, like the
Yes,
oh.
totally. And you don't even, and that's the whole thing is like when that oh my God moment happens, you don't care where you are and you're not even thinking about where you are. You're just thinking about what you just realized. So,
Yeah, yeah. You'll probably be like, sitting having takeout or something, watching a movie.
exactly, which is fine, totally fine.
All right. Well, that is great. So when this moment happens, what song is going to be playing?
Well, I think it depends, where in the romance we're talking here, because I've got a couple of different, sort of themes going on here. So a fun sort of bubbly love song that I love, and I always think about it around this time of year, is Summertime by the Sundays.
Okay.
And I love the vibe of that song. It's just, kind of you realizing that it's just, the chorus is it's you and me in the summertime, and that's really all that matters, right? It's summer, it's you and me, and that's all that matters.
That's great. So that one can like do double duty. It can be on your your kissing music playlist and your summer songs playlist.
Absolutely,
So yeah, so
absolutely.
this is, I didn't have a chance to say before, but the question is, I would like Amy to tell me 3 songs that she would put on her kissing music playlist. And side note, all of this music from all of the authors that are on Kiss List Confessions will be available on a Spotify playlist that you can find called Kiss List Confessions. So you'll be able to check out all the songs that Amy suggests today.
Love it, love it. So I wanted to go sexy for the next song, and I went with, I'm going back a little bit here. I went with That's the Way Love Goes by Janet Jackson.
Ooh, that is a sexy song.
Yeah, I really like that song, and I really liked
It's
her
a
her
subtle, sexy song.
It is. It is. Her 90s music, I would say, wasn't it like late 90s music? Like maybe it was mid
It was
90s.
early zeros, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
late 90s, early zeros. Like she just had some sexy stuff then, and I
We
really
did.
liked it. So that was my sexy one. And then I went with one heartfelt, emotional one, To Make You Feel My Love. And I know there's many different versions of this. Like I know it's didn't Bob Dylan write it, I think, but my favorite version of it is, and I'm not even a big country fan, but I just love when Garth Brooks sings it. I don't know why.
Okay.
I think that might have been the first time I heard the song was via Garth Brooks. And I don't know how or why that happened, because like I said, no offense to country music fans, it's just never been my favorite, but for some reason I just love that version of the song. And I'd kiss the hell out of someone to any of these. So
All right. Well, those are, I love that you kind of went with different emotional energy, like it's for your playlist. So a nice, well-rounded playlist.
there you go.
All right. And you told us about your book that's coming out in September, you said?
It's August 3rd. And
Oh, August
August 3rd
3rd.
is my women's fiction. It's called Love and Bloom. No, it's not. Scratch that. That was the proposed title. It's called The Bloom Girls. Oh my goodness. I'm losing my mind.
Are we allowed to keep that little tidbit
Yeah, that's
in?
fine. That's totally fine.
So
No,
you got a little secret. You got a little secret
little secret there. No, and it's fine. That happens a lot when you sign a contract for a book. It's
yeah.
under one title, and then you talk to your
Oh
editor about it,
yes.
and you end up changing it. And it is
And then they talk to marketing and they change it again. So
exactly. But I love the change, because this book it's a love letter to mothers and daughters. It's a love letter to my favorite mother and daughter TV show, which is the Gilmore Girls. And Bloom is my mom's maiden name. It was a family name. And so I love, like, Gilmore
oh,
Girls, we're calling it the Bloom Girls. And it's
that
about a mother and daughter. Both of them have a romance going on in the story too. So I'm not, leaving my romance roots too far behind, but it is also the mother-daughter story. And so, yeah, I love the new title. So it is the Bloom Girls, August 3rd.
Bloom Girls, August 3rd by Amy Pine. Make sure you
Yes.
check that out. And make sure you check out Amy's podcast about K-dramas. What is that called?
It is called Afternoona Delight. So afternoon with an A at the end, and then delight.
Perfect. All right. Well, this has been Kiss List Confessions. I'm Melanie Johnson with Amy Pine, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Melanie.